Good day, welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo has ordered the release of 1.6 billion naira to 16 states ravaged by flooding across the country. Osinbajo directed Kemi Adeosun, Minister of Finance, to immediately disburse the money to the affected states. The money will be released from the Ecological Fund through the National Emergency Management Agency (NEMA). The states to benefit from the fund include Edo, Sokoto, Ekiti, Osun, Akwa Ibom, Kebbi, Niger, and Kwara State. Others are Ebonyi, Enugu, Abia, Oyo, Lagos, Plateau, as well as Bayelsa State. The Nigerian government is also warning its citizens to prepare for the likelihood of another flood. According to the Minister of Water Resources, Suleiman Adamu, about 30 states and over 100 local government areas risk the possibility of flood. The minister, however, assures that the flow of this water would be constantly monitored by the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, while the flood alert would continue to be issued across the country. He says the ministry will soon embark on a sensitization campaign to educate Nigerians on flood issues. At least 12 people have been confirmed dead, with over 40 others injured after two suicide bombers attacked a small town in northern Cameroon. The affected community shares a border with West African neighbor Nigeria. No group have claimed responsibility for the attack, but the region has been a frequent target of Boko Haram militants. The group has killed more than 20,000 people in the Lake Chad region, including Nigeria, Cameroon, and Niger. Now, following the recent attacks by the Boko Haram sect, security expert Ona Ekomo is suggesting ways the Nigerian government can defeat Boko Haram. Speaking to TV360, Ekomu says to win the war against insurgency, Nigeria needs sufficient intelligence on activities of the terrorists. The expert also said funding remains the biggest challenge in the fight against insurgency.
To bring this war to an end, there is an element that is missing sorely, and we've been very much in short supply of it throughout the conflict so far, since 2009 up to date. That is intelligence. That intelligence component has been missing, particularly human intelligence, HUMINT. Because right now, with the Nigerian Air Force, we've been able to get some kind of technical intelligence. Of course, also certainly with the State Security Service, we've been able to get some kind of technical intelligence, but particularly with the Nigerian Air Force. So that has helped us in the battle against Boko Haram. But what is sorely missing is the human intelligence, because you must have spies in their midst who can tell us what their intentions are. Because to win in terrorism, you must know the intentions of the bad guys, and you must prevent attacks from taking place in the first place. It's not about the bad guys first bombing you to kingdom come, then you start carrying dead bodies. It's not about that, because the guy has shown that he's ready to die. So he comes into your church or your mosque or your school, he's laden with a bomb, he detonates, he kills everybody in the beating area, including in the beating zone, including himself. He doesn't care, or herself. He doesn't care. So he was already ready to give his life, as it were, for whatever reason. So that is one, intelligence. Now the other one is de-radicalization. We need a narrative that is able to get to persons who are on the fringe, because committed Boko Haram fighters, you cannot change their minds because they are ideologues. But there are people on the fringe who listen, who get the message, who feel despondent that the system is not working for them, that Nigeria is not good for them, that Nigeria has forgotten them. How can we get to these people? Because the leader of Boko Haram today, Shekau, was one of those such people many years ago.
Following victory at the Supreme Court, a former Nigerian leader and chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Goodluck Jonathan, is asking defected party members to return to the party. The PDP had been locked in a leadership crisis since 2015 between former governor of Borno State, Ali Modu Sharif, and former Adamawa State Governor Ahmed Makafui. However, the Supreme Court on Wednesday declared Makafui authentic chairman, bringing an end to the tussle. The ruling has been praised by many party members, who are describing it as a victory for Nigeria's democracy.
This victory is not just for PDP, it's for democracy. This affirms the powers of political parties. This affirms the powers of convention of all political parties. The battle we fought was not a battle for PDP alone. It was a battle for democracy. It's a battle for supremacy of party men or women to decide their destiny. And it's a battle to do away with dictatorship in political parties. And this will never repeat itself again.
Today is a new dawn in Nigeria. Today is a new dawn for PDP. Today heralds the 2019 victory of the PDP in Nigeria. We congratulate our chairman, the symbol of authority of our party. The governors will take the right place in leadership going forward. We will not disappoint you. We will stand up for the party. We will be responsible. We will do the needful. Where we need to talk, we will talk. Where we need to spend money, we will spend money.
Well, today we are standing high and tall, saluting our judiciary. That in spite of all the attack, all the molestations and embarrassment, they stood on the path of rule of law. So there is no hope for our country. Our dear party faithfuls, I just want to appeal that today there's no victor and no vanquished. We're all together. We are back to our party. We are back to rebuild our party. Nobody should say that this is no victory. This is a victory for all of us. Both those who agreed and those who disagreed with us. I want to appeal to those who left our party to come back.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, we want to say to all of you, for standing firm together, this is the time for us to move forward, to rebuild our party, to rebuild our people, to move forward together, and to take over government in 2019.
In reactions to the court's verdict, Ali Madu Sharif has described the judgment as a shock. In a statement, Sharif says he will be approaching the Supreme Court with his lawyers to get a full understanding of the verdict. According to him, the explanation of the Supreme Court will determine his next course of action. The Aviation Roundtable has condemned the poor state of airline operators in Nigeria, urging the government to take vital steps to revive it. Chief Executive Officer of Air Peace, Alan Onyema, at the Aviation Safety Roundtable Initiative says unless the government take urgent steps in the next 2 years, all airlines in the country may shut down. Meanwhile, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, who was a guest of honor at the event, assured the sector that the government is doing everything possible to encourage airline operators in the country. Our correspondent Tunji Olanikbeku now reports.
Inherited an agreement which
between 1986 and 2016, 47 airlines have collapsed in Nigeria. Even the ones run by government experienced the same fate. Different interventions by previous administrations to reposition the aviation industry have not yielded any positive result. Presently, out of all the airlines operating in Nigeria, only 2 are able to meet its financial obligations to its workers as at when due. Others are already groaning under harsh economic conditions and gasping for breath. This situation calls for the attention of key stakeholders in the aviation industry. And here in this hall, you have them all. Government, operators, regulators, and experts in the industry have gathered to brainstorm again on how to make the industry compete with others across the globe.
since I've been knowledgeable enough, I've seen so many airlines come and go. Some seriously celebrated, some not, but they've all gone the same way. My question is, have we researched thoroughly the reasons for this collapse? Have we researched thoroughly the reasons for this collapse?
In Nigeria, double taxation. Before you even start, you're paying NCA 5% on your ticket, you're paying VAT 5%, FAN is taking 1,000, there is en route charges, there are other parking charges, there were all about 37 charges in all. For example, if you have a 20,000 naira ticket, they lie to you, the agencies lie to you, and the people want to believe this, that airlines are owing government agencies, that they collect money for government. We are not tax collectors, and they refuse to bring the same money.
After these speeches by operators, it was obvious that there are more problems in the aviation industry than envisaged by government. Nonetheless, government says it is ready to change the narration with different policies and executive orders that will ensure ease of doing business in Nigeria.
What are the solutions? We must not get into a state of fog where we despair and think there is no solution. Oh yes, we have a lot of challenges in the area of regulatory framework, in the area of capacity, in the area of the quality of the people that make decisions. This government has never taken as an excuse for non-performance the fact that it inherited a bad economy or the fact that it inherited a bad structure. No.
Experts in the industry, however, suggest a consolidation of all the airlines to one strong carrier that the nation can be proud of.
The 44 aeroplanes can just be fly Nigeria with a consolidator rostering all their aircraft and the position for a flight. Fly Air Nigeria, one single airline, 44 aeroplanes. And then they are still less than a South African Airways.
Experts at the event agreed that government needs to do more in the area of infrastructure, address the issue of multiple taxation and corruption in the system for the industry to blossom. Tunji Olanipekun, TV360, Lagos.
The Iowa Consultative Forum has asked the federal government not to accept or implement any of the recommendations of the 2014 National Conference. The Northern Social Political Group is alleging that the CONFAB recommendations were made by a group of unelected delegates, saying it will be undemocratic for anyone to canvass for the implementation of the report. The statement comes in the wake of the increased debate over the implementation of the CONFAB report, as well as calls for national restructuring. A bill seeking to protect whistleblowers from prosecution has passed the first reading in the House of Representatives. The bill seeks to develop legal framework for whistleblowing and the protection of whistleblowers. The law, if enacted, will, among other things, encourage and facilitate whistleblowing, regulate the receiving of petitions and dealings with disclosures by whistleblowers. The bill has already been passed by the Senate. Minister of Health Isaac Adewale has been given a week to reinstate the suspended Executive Secretary of the National Health Insurance Scheme, Usman Yusuf. The health minister had suspended Yusuf over corruption allegations, one of which was the procurement of a 58 million naira SUV without due process. The NHIS chief has, however, denied any wrongdoing and made the allegations. The Nigeria Immigration Service (NIS) has started distribution of temporary work permit visas by email to expatriates coming to the country for temporary work. The Comptroller General of the NIS, Mohammed Babandede, said the measure was part of the ongoing automation of the service operations and in line with the ease of doing business in Nigeria. He said the process involves a formal application letter by the company accepting immigration responsibilities on behalf of the beneficiary, among other requirements. The Lagos State Appeal Court has affirmed the power of local government in Lagos State to generate revenue from private car parks and car lots within the state. The court dismissed an appeal filed by a telecommunications firm, Airtel Network Limited. Airtel was appealing a ruling which allowed Lagos to generate funds from a parking lot operated by the company. Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association (DEPOA) have urged Nigerians to show love and support to the less privileged in the society, especially the blind. DEPOA President Omobolanle Olonishakin made the call during the group's first visit to the School of the Blind in Abuja, the nation's capital. The women donated various relief materials to students of the school during their visit.
DEPOA is committed to giving a helping hand to the needy so as to restore hope and, of course, provide resources that will help in sustaining them and improving their life quality, their quality of life. I want to advise everyone, don't forget those in need. Like today, looking at these children, encouraging them and having high expectations about them will, of course, increase the likelihood that they will succeed in their personal goals and as well contribute meaningfully to our country, Nigeria.
The school was established in 1991 and it started with 2 pupils, all male.
And today we have how many?
Today we have 138 children. But physically on ground today, we have 119. Well, the challenges of a facility like this, we all know that this type of education for the handicapped, first of all started with the missionaries before government took over. And for the visually impaired, their learning materials are always on the costly side. You will believe me that those that went to purchase these learning materials for the children must have known how much they took out from their pockets. A braille machine goes for 250,000 naira, depending on the foreign exchange. Just the little slate that you have seen here, I know the women must have bought it at the rate of 6,000 naira. Then you talk of the typewriters. The typewriters will go for nothing less than 25,000 naira.
Brother, do the right thing, sister, do the right thing, auntie. Corruption not in my country. Do the right thing, brother, do the right thing, sister, do the right thing, auntie. Corruption not in my country. Oh, oh, hey, yeah, oh, oh. Corruption not in my country. Do the right thing, brother, do the right thing, sister, do the right thing, auntie. If you are given a job to do it, use the right materials, yeah, my brother, sister. Corruption not in my country. Oh, oh, hey, yeah, oh, oh. Corruption not in my country. Do the right thing, brother. Do the right thing, sister. Do the right thing, auntie. Corruption not in my country. Do the right thing, brother. Do the right thing, sister. Do the right thing, auntie. Corruption not in my country. Oh, oh, hey, yeah, oh, oh. Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. It's time for business with Thelma Okoro.
Thanks, Fidelia. It's out with the Old and in with the new telecom operator Etisalat Nigeria has officially changed its name to Nine Mobile. The new name was adopted after a management meeting of the telecom company today. The company was near collapse after it failed to pay back a $1.2 billion loan it received from 13 banks back in 2013. Earlier this week, the Etisalat Group parent company to Etisalat Nigeria pulled out of the country and demanded the use of its brand name be phased out after 3 weeks. Etisalat has 20 million subscribers, making it Nigeria's number 4 mobile company with a 14% market share. Barely 48 hours after saying Nigeria cannot afford to borrow anymore, Finance Minister Kemi Adeosun has made a turnabout, insisting the country must borrow to fund the 2017 budget. Nigeria, which is in its first recession in 25 years, had planned to borrow extensively from overseas to fund the record budget. So when the minister made this comment, it raised questions about how Nigeria would fund its budget if it doesn't borrow, and the planned foreign loan of $2 billion from lenders like the World Bank is still at stake. To clarify what the minister was actually saying, the Finance Ministry released a statement saying it has approval to borrow to fund the budget, but Nigeria needs to reduce the need for debt by diversifying its revenue base. The Naira remained stable on the forex market by the end of trading today. The Nigerian currency is being supported by offshore investors returning to Africa's largest economy. It was quoted flat at 368 to the dollar on the black market on Thursday, while commercial lenders traded it at 305.95 to the dollar in the interbank window against 306.2 a dollar last week. Meanwhile, Nigeria sold 10 and 20-year bonds denominated in the local currency at 16.25%. Nigeria's debt office sold a total of 105.96 billion naira worth of 5, 10 and 20-year bonds at the auction. Nigeria's Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ibe Kachiko, says the country supports OPEC's efforts to stabilize oil prices, but will wait before deciding whether to join the cartel's cuts in oil production. Nigeria and Libya are exempt from an OPEC agreement, which was made to reduce a glut of crude oil on world markets. The output of both countries has been hit by political turmoil and attacks. Kachiko says joining the OPEC cut will affect some capital projects here in Nigeria's budget. Meanwhile, Brent crude was down on Thursday by 40 cents at $47.34 per barrel, while U.S. light crude was down 35 cents at $45.14 per barrel. That's all we have on business news. More stories coming up. Don't go away.
Corruption not in my country.
Mr. Job! Mr. Job! What is it now?
What is it now?
Please turn down the volume of your music. It's too loud.
And how is that your business?
It is disturbing me. I can't sleep.
And the same way you are disturbing my right to good music and where I enjoy it. Eh? What's wrong with you? Is there another person complaining?
Maybe we thought that you have lost your mind. Are you having a party?
I'm just respecting you, sir. You remember I've paid my husband too.
You will not understand why we are complaining, because you do not care about other people except yourself. Look, the transformation we need in this country begins in this compound.
Yes, now.
From you and I. This your selfishness is an offshoot of corruption. And corruption not in my country. Go to your bank. Go.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Authorities in Kenya have deployed dozens of security personnel to central Laikipia region to track down suspected armed herdsmen who killed 6 officers and injured 4 others. According to the police report, the raiders first attacked a village elder before ambushing the police vehicles. The wounded officers were airlifted to the capital, Nairobi, for treatment. Police say the attackers fled with 6 rifles and a pistol belonging to those officials. Gambia could become the first country in sub-Saharan Africa to eliminate malaria. The prevalence of malaria parasite in children under 5 has plunged to 0.2% from 4% recorded earlier in 2011. Now, this is according to the National Malaria Control Program. Gambia is aiming to achieve the milestone of having no new malaria cases by 2020. Onto the sports scene now. Nigeria's national team coach General Rowe has denied planning to quit the Super Eagles job over alleged interference in Rowe. The German had been under scrutiny following the Eagles' shocking loss of 2-0 to South Africa in their opening 2019 AFCON qualifiers. Following that result, Nigeria's Sport Ministry had called an emergency meeting with the Technical Committee of the Nigerian Football Federation to appraise the result. Report this week had suggested that the coach was not happy with the developments and was threatening to quit his job. However, Rowe insists that this is not the case, saying there is no truth to those reports. Dutch international Abdel Nouri has been diagnosed with brain damage after collapsing in a preseason friendly. The 20-year-old collapsed during last Saturday's preseason friendly against Werder Bremen. He was rushed to hospital where the doctors resuscitated him. On Monday, the club had said tests showed his heart is functioning normally and brain scan did not detect any abnormalities, but new tests revealed the extent of the damage. Venus Williams becomes the oldest woman to qualify for a Grand Slam after she defeated Britain's Joanna Konta in the quarterfinal of Wimbledon. The 37-year-old defeated the home favorite 6-4, 6-2 to advance to Saturday's final. She will face Spain's Garbiñe Muguruza in the final of the tournament. Well, that's all on news now. Thanks for watching. I am Fidelia Aguncha.